fellas, welcome back to Big Beard Business, and we are here with yet another summer video. Today I have a top 10 niche summer video, but this list was curated by the missus. I started out with the list and I said, baby, come on up here and make this list. So she sprayed hundreds and hundreds. I'm just joking. She sprayed a lot of fragrances, so much that we had to leave for a few hours and come back for me to film this video, but I think the list is fire. So let's go ahead and dive into the top 10 niche fragrance list curated by Mrs. Big Beard Business. The first fragrance on our list today is desert inspired, and it is an ethereal blend of florals. In fact, when she chose this fragrance, she said, I smell this fragrance and I think about it when you are getting fresh out of the shower. So the heat is coming off you, and this fragrance does radiate in that situation. Therefore, it should be what's on this list. And I say, let me find out you know what you're talking about. And the fragrance comes from the house of Byredo, and this one is Byredo's Mojave Ghost. And we know that Mojave Ghost is made on the ghost flower. There's a warm essence to this fragrance, and it also features the notes of magnolia and sandalwood. All around, this is a phenomenal fragrance. It's going to do wonders in that warm weather situation. Mojave Ghost from the house of Byredo. The next fragrance is one that I've had in my collection for a while, and she came to this fragrance a few times, and here it is on today's list. This fragrance comes from the house of Bar No. 9, and this one is Bar No. 9's Jones Beach. Now, this is the fragrance that I do not wear much, but it is a fragrance that she wants to smell on me. This fragrance features notes of sea salt. You also get this suntan lotion type of feel within this fragrance, and it is a classy fragrance in my opinion, and a fragrance that is relatively safe to wear within the summer. Aquatic feel within this scent, but without being overtly aquatic and too salty like some of the other fragrances that can be out there when you're looking at these salty type of fragrances. So be sure to try this one out. Jones Beach from the house of Bar No. 9. The number 8 fragrance on this list happens to come from the house of Fragrance Dubois, and this one is Oud Blue Intense. Now, Oud Blue Intense is a masterpiece scent if you're asking my personal opinion. With this fragrance, you're getting rich oud, vibrant spices, and velvety woods really coming together to make that fragrance that is a subtle fragrance that is erring on the side of I am magnificent. When you spray this fragrance on, that's how you feel with wearing a fragrance like this. Not only like this, specifically when you're wearing this fragrance. All in all, this fragrance is sophisticated, it shines through the summer heat, and it's good for special occasions. Although this fragrance may be on the pricier side of things, in my humble opinion, it is well worth it. The longevity is there, the projection is there, the performance in every aspect of what you need a fragrance to have is there. And oh, by the way, if you enjoy compliments, they could roll in with this one as well. This is the name Oud Blue Intense. It's not a heavy oud. This fragrance will work for you in the summertime for sure. Oud Blue Intense from the house of Fragrance Dubois. Now, the next fragrance is this magnificent blend of citrus, herbs, musk, and amber. And it's a fragrance that she placed head to head in a video that I also done as well, which happened to be this fragrance versus one from the house of Creed, which happened to be that of Himalaya. But the winner of this list happened to be that of Galloway from Parfum de Marly. Now, Parfum de Marly does amazing things when it comes down to fragrances, and with Galloway, this one is no different. Now, we do know that Parfum de Marly tends to do extremely good things when it comes down to fall and winter fragrances, but there are a few standout fragrances that come to life when we're thinking of spring and summer, and this one was really up there. This fragrance that she decided to pull in happened to be that of Galloway, and this is the fragrance that I would have used as a contender for today's list as well. Galloway has moderate sillage, and when we're looking at the price value for a fragrance like this in terms of what niche fragrances go for, I would say that this one has good value for its money. All in, it's a fragrance that is phenomenal. It's one that I go to often, and I think a lot of you out there will enjoy this fragrance as well. If you're into that musky feel within fragrances, it's a creamy musk as well. One that I am super pleased with to have within the collection. Galloway from the house of Parfum de Marly. Now, she did decide to pull a Drake and go back to back when it comes down to Parfum de Marly fragrances. And this next one is one that would have definitely been on a list that I curated here to toe. And this one is Sedley from the house of, obviously, Parfum de Marly. I am a huge fan of Sedley. In my personal opinion, this is probably the best spring/summer fragrance that they have released ever. At least of the fragrances that I have, and I think I have maybe 12 or 13 of them all in. This scent here is juicy, it's inviting, it is also very intriguing. When you're spraying a fragrance like this on, people are going to want to know, what are you wearing? I remember during the original release of Sedley, there were some problems with longevity, but they fixed them with the newly macerated version, and they're long gone in terms of the old bottles. So you don't have to worry about that from a stock perspective. You spray this fragrance on, it's juicy, it's invigorating, it's lively, it's refreshing, everything that you would want in a summer fragrance, and it also has a good longevity with it as well, which is phenomenal when it comes down to these types of scents. Parfum de Marly's Sedley is in top tier scent and made my wife's list as well. Now, the next fragrance she chose is the fragrance that I've recently talked about in the Live with Goods the Animal that we did on caffeine. So if you did miss that episode, be sure to check that out. But she sprayed this one and immediately said, immediately yes. Immediately yes. The fragrance comes from the house of Imaginary Authors, and this one is Saint Julep. Now, Saint Julep is an amazing scent, and all the notes are written here on the back. We have sweet mint, tangerine, southern magnolia, bourbon. You have some sugar cube and crushed ice. This scent here is phenomenal. I've used a ton of this fragrance, and what I do enjoy about their fragrances, Imaginary Authors, is that these are niche fragrances that quality has been placed into, but the price point is really of what you would find for like designer fragrances, and probably priced even better. Now, if you had to give this one any notch down, it would be because of how much juice you get with these. You don't get like 120 ml bottles. You don't get that type of stuff here. This is a very moderately priced fragrances that are extremely enjoyable. Years ago, I was doing something down in Miami and I wanted to smell this one. I was immediately blown away by this fragrance. Got it, and I will likely forever keep this fragrance in my collection. I will need a new bottle, and since I've done fragrance reviews, I haven't gone through many bottles of fragrances, but this is one of those that I will be completing and will need another one. So that should give you an indication on how good that fragrance is. Imaginary Authors Saint Julep. Now, I was semi-shocked when I saw this next fragrance on the list here, and these are all in the order that she placed them in because the fragrance came by way of my personal collaboration. I didn't think she was going to go for those, but she did, and the fragrance comes from Navitas Parfums, and this one is The Key. And shout out to all of you out there who've hit me up and said, yo, B, The Key has been amazing, and it's doing exactly what you intended to do, which is to get me compliments. The Key was made to be the key to compliments, and one of those fragrances from my collection with Navitas Parfums that was great for summertime wear. This fragrance is one of those juicy, mouth-watering fragrances that gets the attention of many and calls them in and says, hey, I am wearing something amazing. You should compliment me. You should want to be around me. You should want to know my name. And it's we're wearing this fragrance. They're going to be like Chris Brown and say, yo. They want to know your name, okay? They're going to say, instead of excuse me, miss, they want to say, excuse me, sir. I smelled you from across the room. What do you have on? You say, it's the key, baby. It's the key. This one unlocks doors for you. Bright, fresh, refreshing, and a fragrance that I am super happy with. Obviously, I came out with it, so I'm happy that it made her list. So The Key from Navitas Parfums in collaboration with Ja Boy. Now we're down to the final three fragrances, and this one wasn't really a surprise that it would make this list because since I've picked this fragrance up, she's been really all in on it. And then also others within my household, meaning my 10-year-old son, he picked this one up. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know what this one is. This one is from Mind Games, and this one is Blockade. Now this one says that it's green mango and peppercorn, but this fragrance is so much more. If you're thinking of picking up Blockade, this one is an olfactive journey for sure. Extreme experience, one that is close in wearability to Creed Aventus, but very different. It doesn't smell like it. Just one that you would wear in similar situations. And when you spray this one, you get that sparkling feel from the fragrance, one that is uplifting, it's refreshing, and it's a refined fragrance. It's easy to transition to the office, to daily wear, and this one could be easily a signature scent. So be sure to rock this fragrance with confidence. Get your nose on it if you have not experienced it yet. Blockade from the house of Mind Games. And the next fragrance on this list is one that I was also shocked that was going to be on this list, not because it's not amazing, just that I didn't think she was going to go this route. And the fragrance is Siesta Drive. Now, Siesta Drive is a creamy, fresh fragrance that has this gourmand-esque feel to it that is prime for hot weather wear, which means it's going to be phenomenal in the summer. A lot of you have hit me up and say, yo, B, I've picked up Siesta Drive and it is amazing, and I appreciate you for doing so. This fragrance is very different than the fragrances that we have on our list today, and I think it's going to be very different than some of the other fragrances that you might already have in your collection. When I think of Siesta Drive, I think about my time in Florida. Moving from Baltimore down to Florida, it was very different. It was bright. It was a totally different experience. It was lively. It was luxury. And that's what you get here. And also spend some time living on Siesta Drive. If you haven't experienced what Siesta is all about, they have a show called The Key, and then that's a part of it. Not to be confused with this, The Key. But they have a show called The Key that was on MTV that it kind of showcased the life of living in Sarasota, specifically the richer side of Sarasota. But nonetheless, this is a phenomenal fragrance. It features this lemon mascarpone accord within the scent, and that in itself sets this fragrance apart. It's delicious. Also, you get Italian bergamot, pink pepper, grapefruit. There's so much going on within this fragrance from the top to the bottom. A scent that you will not go wrong with. Siesta Drive from Novitas Parfums. Now, this last fragrance she grabbed and sprayed and said, "What have you done?" I was like, I didn't do anything. She said, exactly, because you have not been wearing this fragrance as much as you should, and I forgot that you had it. This fragrance is amazing. This fragrance comes from Xerjoff, and it's not what you think. This fragrance is Italica, and this one is part of the Casmerati. This fragrance is very different. This one is a semi-gourmand fragrance. It's also a bit cozy. One that I would say is probably the most cuddle buddy-esque of the fragrances mentioned today, but it's super, super dope. She enjoyed this fragrance so much that she called my older son in here and said, "He's been hiding this from us." I was like, it's right there. It's on the wall. You guys have had the opportunity to come in here and smell this yourself. I think she wants this one in her collection, so we'll see what happens. All right, note breakdown here. You have saffron, you have milk, you have bergamot, you have mandarin and green apple in the top. In the mid here, you have vanilla, toffee, and tonka bean. And then in the base, you have white musk, sandalwood incense, and amber. This fragrance is multifaceted. It could work in fall and winter, but also spring and summer. It's a light wearing fragrance that has this lactonic feel that you really don't go wrong with. It's seductive, it's sensual, and just an all-around amazing scent. And I had to say, listen, she is correct. This fragrance is dope. Yeah, that scent has obviously it has a gourmand feel to it. It's super approachable. Again, one of those ones that can be worn within the sheets. All around phenomenal fragrance here, and in the #1 position for her for my niche fragrance list of 2023 for summertime wear. Let me know what fragrances make your list. Are there any fragrances on this list that you have? Any fragrances that you disagree with and say, never would I ever? Alright, I would love to know. That's all I got for you. As always, I'm your boy, Big B, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn bell.